Okay, the recording started. I'm sorry for all the delay. It's not that I think anything is in my control. It's the computer glitch. Now that we are online, so let's start with this topic. So as I'm saying, our topics for today's class is finish up the chapter 7, and we start with this polar array. How many of you finished this one? 7.4.1. All of you? Anybody need help on that? Raise your hand if you need help. I'll come and help you. You don't remember? I strongly believe I did it. I mean, it's something in the in the last class. Monday was the exam, right? In Wednesday, I believe I did it. Like Lucas, I did it, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So Angel, I can help you in person on that one. But everybody else did it, right? Anybody else need help on that? No. All right. I just have so much to do because of the wastage of time, because I'd like to move on. It's very straightforward, Angel. If you follow, just take a look. It could be a review for everybody else as well, okay? So see here, you just have to choose these array options, right? And then you got to choose out of this array. There are like 3 different kinds of array, right? This polar array, that's what you're going to choose here on this one. And then you see, you just have to by default it's probably 6 of this bolt here. You are seeing what's our goal here, by the way. Let me go a little formally. See, this is a wheel, right? Wheel does have a rim. It does have these things. What does these things called? This is a leg or something. Spoke. Okay, though it does have like spoke, like 8 of them, and 5 holes in the middle, right? So by default, if you try to do like the polar array, it's going to give you 6. Okay, so that's the highlight here. So let me go to the next page. So you just have to change this, okay, number of items to 5. Okay, so that's what you're going to do. I mean, there are other ways to deal with that. Like you can choose the angle, like it's 72 automatically came when you choose the 5 volts. Okay, so that's the one thing to remember. The other thing is the rotate items. So that's what important as well. See, these bolts here, if you don't rotate them, it'll gonna look like it'll not gonna look like that. It will gonna look like, you know, kind of like in the same orientation. Okay, so you'd like to choose the rotate, and where it's located, there is this option will gonna show up whenever you choose the polar array called associative array, or the properties of the arrays. You can change it from there. So there's this thing, you see, array properties, and then rotate items. Okay, and then you'd like to just save it, and then the bold part is done. Okay, once the bold part is done, then you'd like to do the spoke, like there are 8 of them, right? So you see, you're going to choose how many of them, 8, right? And then you will going to also choose the rotate item. So those are the highlights. So if you're going to do that, you're going to come up like this, something like that. And one final steps, which is trim. Okay, if you're going to do that, you're going to have those extra portion will going to be here. Your ultimate goal is to take out, just like the next figure that you're seeing, and you just use the trim option, and then just trim it out. Okay, and there is this quick trim that you can choose. Okay, that's all about this. Angel, you can do it now. This is chapter 7. So the thing that we just did, which is 7.4.1. okay, so maybe if any one of you haven't done it yet, you wanna open that one, the drawing file, DWG file, and these are in Brightspace. You have to obviously download it first before you open it. So 7.4.1, and on that you can able to finish it, what I was just saying. So this one, Lucas, did I finish this one as well? I don't think so, right?
I don't.
How many of you finished this one? Okay, perfect. Those who have finished, like you can kind of listen what I'm trying to say as overview. When I feel like maybe I should be doing it. Okay, I forgot now if I have done this or not. Okay, doesn't matter. I'm gonna do it anyway. But let me do a quick review. Okay, those who have done with that already, maybe it could be helpful to you. Okay, as a review wise, you see, this is what was given to you. if you're going to open up this 7.4.2, this would be you are seeing, and your goal is to make this like this, right, where you have multiple chairs. You have originally one chair on a half moon circle table kind of shape like that, and you would like to make like four more chairs, right, by using the array options. Now what kind of array options you will be doing? Obviously the polar array, because you'd be doing an angle, right? The half circle table is an angle, right, 180-degree angle. Okay, so the way you would be doing it is like you'd be choosing the polar array, right, from this array option. There are 3 different options, and whenever you do that and kind of started proceeding, immediately you would be seeing, you see, the chairs are all around, like it would be assuming you are dealing with a polar array which is 360-degree, or the full circle, not the half circle, right? So that's another thing to notice, and then obviously you can do some orientation change here. First of all, the orientation change can be done by doing the direction. You see there is a direction option. So if you change the direction, all the chairs are gonna now come around the table, not like in the empty space like originally it is coming. Okay. And then obviously you're gonna decide how many chairs that you want. So you want, if you'd like to change it to 5 chairs, including the original one. So there will be like the 5 chairs, and the direction will gonna show it up like this. Okay. Okay, one final thing is, like, you know, you want to do the rotate. Okay, so there is this direction and rotate, both options you are choosing. If you're going to do the rotate, you see, if you don't do the rotate, all those chairs seems like orienting such a way, it doesn't seems like any connection with the table, right, except the chairs are in front of the table. So you'd like to do the rotate, so those chairs should looks like you are sitting it, and you are seeing the front. It could be a display or whatever. Okay, so that rotate could be really helpful. So rotate and direction, those 2 things that you use along with the polar array. Okay, and as I said, I'll be doing it anyway. I forgot if I did it, and I'd like to open this full file, which is 7.4.2. all right. So you see, I'm gonna strictly follow all the instructions that I have it here. Okay, I'm gonna start with just from this page. It does says here, you know, open this array, and then from this array you want to choose the polar array. Once I choose the polar array, it's asking about what object that you'd like to do. I mean, you'd like to make an array. So obviously the chair, once I choose that, I press the enter, then it's asking you, okay, specify the center point of the array. Now this could be a center point, right, the center point of the top line of the table, the half circle table. And you see here, just like the way it is showing here in the book, similarly it does have all the tables showed up, like sorry, all the chairs showed up, like 6 of them, but you don't need 6 of them, you need 5 of them. So you obviously like to change the number of items to 5, which I'm doing it. Okay, and immediately the angles between it was 60 before, the angles between changed to 72, because now it's the chair is number 5. And the other 2 things that you gotta change, one is the rotate item, and another one is the direction, right? So finally you gotta change it to 180, like the fill angle. Okay, if you're gonna do the fill angle, change to 180, and this is the final orientation that you are looking for will gonna show up. Okay, and again, what did we use? Several things. First, polar array. Okay, and then we change the number of items from 6 to 5. Then we change the fill angle to 180. Okay, then we change the rotate items, and then we change the directions. Where those are located, again here, the rotate items and the directions, those are part of the properties, and you know, number of items is part of the items. And once you're done with all of them, you just simply click a close array, and your folder now get updated with all 5 chairs. Okay, everyone's done with that? Anybody need any help? No? Should we move on? All right, so moving on. So here is another one. You are doing the polar array with multiple rows. We'll be doing it here as well, but just want to show you something. So this one is the challenge exercise, is for the homework. Okay, I won't be doing that. So this is 7.4.4. I've seen when I was walking around, some of you already finished it. Okay, that's perfect. You can use it simply for the homework. That means you're done, part of the homework you are done. I'm going to upload a homework question shortly though. Okay, so let's move on to this question. So this is 7.4.3. How many of you finished this one? Almost all of you. Yeah, while I was walking around, I see some of you have finished it. Perfect. So yeah, as I was saying like before, it could be helpful to you when I'm reviewing it. Even if you are done with that, so that's why I encourage you to kind of listen for a few minutes when I'm reviewing it. Maybe you are missing something. When you did it, fine, but maybe you're missing something. Maybe it could be a review session for you. Okay, but either way, it could be helpful to you. Anyway, so I am now opening the 7.4.3. 7.4.3. So what you're seeing here is one circle on an inner center line circle, right? It's a big circle. So what you're going to do, you're gonna create something on the right side image where you have multiple small circles all around this block, right? So the way you can do it, again, using the polar array, okay? So you wanna they obviously have all the instructions here. I'll just simply follow those instructions. So you're gonna first choose this array here, and then from these three options you wanna obviously choose the polar array, okay? And then you'd like to first choose this small white circle, right? And then press enter. Okay, then it says here specify the center point of the array, and obviously this is your center point of the array, right? And immediately a bunch of circles showed up with this new associative array creation tab created, where you have like multiple items and all sorts of things, right? Obviously you'd like to change those multiple items to 4, right? You don't need like 6 of them, so it should show something similar to like that, right? And then you want to change this to the number of rows to 1 from 4. Okay, there is this number of rows. So what it will gonna do, it will gonna create multiple circles along this way, right? So if you're gonna click somewhere outside, immediately those circles are gonna show up. The final thing you'd like to do, change the distance in between those two circles, which you are seeing it here in the book. At the top of the page it shows 3.75. So I'll be changing it from 2.1 to 3.75, and then immediately something similar is showed up. Okay, and then I'm going to obviously close the array. Okay, if I want to close the array and I'm going to save it, it's done. Any question? Everybody's done with that? Should I move on? All right, perfect. And as I'm saying before, this is the part of the homework, right? I won't be talking about it. If you have question though, I mean, while you're doing the homework, let me know. I'll help you. Here it is, the next topic, which is still array, but it says the path array. Okay, so where is the path array? If you're gonna click on the array, the downward option button, it would gonna give you out of these 3 different arrays, like rectangular, polar, and the path array. So you'll be choosing the path array for sure, right? And then let's just talk a little bit about it, the path array. So on the path array, here is an example you're seeing here. If you have a tree, I mean, if you're noticing, they have a circle with all kind of zigzag with a green color. It's actually representing a tree, and most likely it's showing like in a path you have the trees, maybe next to a road, right? Something like that. Anyway, so if you'd like to draw something similar, maybe you need to do this path array, right? And there could be other occasions as well, but let's just move on. So the key concept here is like how you're going to deal with this path array. You can deal with this by measuring. I mean, how long is the distance from each of these objects. Okay, that's one of the options. Measuring. Divide. Divide option is usually used for if you're going to choose like a number of objects, like how many of them that you'd like to create on the path, right? Then divide option could be helpful. Okay, path curve, associative means the options that you would be changing, right? How many of those you are doing, like in this case the trees, what are the distance, so the place where you would be doing all of them. And there's this thing showing like what to do, like I was already showing it to you. You just have to click here and choose the path array. Okay, all right, so that's that. Anything else that could be important here? Okay, just talking about this array path different options. So we'll be seeing it when all will be doing the exercise anyway. So here few items is so important. Is like in array creation option. What are these things means, like this associative means, like the align item means, the z direction means. Let's just talk about the associative first. Okay, the associative means like if these options are chosen, and if you're going to use this path array and if multiple objects are created, all those objects will going to be considered as like one single object. Does it make sense? So that is what important point, because you know, if you have all those objects is one single object, then you can't delete any single object that's what you want, right? So there are different ways to deal with that. One easiest option could be explode. Anybody remember the explode option? Okay, so if you're going to explode the associative, once you choose the associative, all the objects are like a one single object, you use the explode, you separate them first by doing the explode, and then delete any particular one that you'd like to delete. Okay, you may be in a situation that you'd like to delete some of the tree, right? You may not have that many trees, like the example that we are seeing. So that is one important thing, very important thing. I'd like to highlight that, and it does talk about it here in the book in page number 315. You see how not do that, explode, and read through that. I mean, that book does have like very detailed thing. Okay, I'd like to read myself before coming to class. I mean, I enjoyed when I read through stuff. That guy Rick is very good on his stuff. Okay, very straightforward, easy stuff. Anybody can read and understand. But if you struggle, just I'm here to help you anyway. Okay. So okay, and there is this other thing. Remember at the beginning I was talking about the measure and the divide. The measure is like, you know, say like you are dealing with the trees around a path, right? How many of the trees that could be for the divide, and what are the distance in between the trees, that could be going with the measure. Okay, make sense? So those two things I'd like to highlight here, obviously, and there are options where you can change them by changing the number of items. That could be divide, and the distance is like the between. Okay, so those are the things that I was talking about. And see how much text involved here. One full page they are explaining the same thing what I was just saying here. Okay, so that way the book is very extensive and you know, comprehensive. So the align items is very straightforward. The align items are very straightforward. We do have this two different sketch here, like just after this align item. As you can see clearly, if you're going to choose the align items, it will going to go along the path, right? Which maybe you want and maybe you don't want. Like in that case, if you don't like to move any of this chair, you don't want to align them, then it will going to show up something similar, like, you know, the no orientation change, or you're not aligning. Okay, so that's important. And then the next exercise we're going to start. Obviously on exercise, I've seen when I was walking, pretty much all of you finished this one. How many of you finished this one? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so some of you still might have to do that. Okay, so if you are in a situation like, even if you finished it, just follow me like what I'm explaining, the overview of that. But before even I do any of this, I'm going to open this 7.5.1. okay, so everybody please open that one from your Brightspace, right? 7.5.1. where is the 7.5.1? oh, I didn't upload it, sorry. I gotta go Brightspace. Sorry for the pause a little bit. And even though we lose quite a bit of time, I don't believe I need that much of time, right? The way the progress in this class I've seen, like while I was walking, you guys have pretty much done what I'm saying here already, except very few students haven't finished it. So you should be all right. All right, so I was just saying, like, I need to go Brightspace. But in case if you haven't finished it, don't worry, you take your time, you finish it. I'll be here helping you unless you are done with that, whatever I'm saying. Okay, so site 116, then go to content. Excuse me. So class exercise. So we are doing the path array 7.5.1. Download second path array, download offsetting the image download, setting the image download. Alright, now I have everything. Let me open this. Okay, so this is the one that we'd like to do here. So you see, what we have here in the drawing is this left sketch or image, right? Would like to create the right one, and obviously you are seeing here you have two paths around a structure. It could be building or whatever, and you'd like to create multiple of this circle around this, right? These circles could be considered as like flower, trees, or whatever. Okay, so the way you can do it, obviously, by using the path array, and the way you can do it, you choose these path array options out of these three different options on the array. You choose these path array options, right? And then you wanna select. You wanna do it in two different settings, like the left side of the building, like those circles that you're seeing along that line that you have could be the first job, and the right side of the building, the line that you're seeing could be the second job. Okay, so I'm dealing with the left side of the building, so I choose the path array, then I choose the circle, okay, which I would like to create multiple objects. So then I'm gonna press the enter. Okay, then it will gonna ask you select the path curve. Okay, which curve that I would like to create those circles around. Now here's one important thing. When I'm gonna put my mouse on that or hover the mouse or the crosshair on the top of that line, you see a whole line showed up because it's a polyline. So you just have to make sure whenever you created a path, it needs to be polyline. Okay, and we've done probably one full class on polyline, right? You remember how to do the polyline, right? Even if you didn't do the polyline, you have multiple lines just one after another. You would like to join them. Remember the join options, right? Under this modify, everybody remember the join option, right? Bottom line, you just have to create one single line. Understand? Anyone understand? Okay, perfect. All right, so I mean, this case they created it for you, not necessarily it is the yes.
If you accidentally did lines, you could join them all.
Exactly, that's what I was saying. Like, two options. You can choose the polyline and literally create these multiple lines in one setting. That would be considered as one single line. If you didn't do that, as Lucas was saying, like joining lines, like you have single line options. You are creating lines one after another, right? Then it is still all separate lines. You need to join them to make a one single polyline. Okay, the way you can do it, once you have all the lines created, right, you choose all of them and you just simply use the option called join. And where is the join? If you're going to go to modify here, this is the join. Okay, let me try to put my sorry, everybody see the join? This is the join options. Okay, you'd like to use that. Okay, and other than that, it's very straightforward thing. Okay, so again, it's asking you now to select the path curve, which is this curve, right? So I just select that one, and immediately all those circles showed up. Now you do have control how many of the circles that you want, what would be the distance in between these two circles, right? Those are the things that you would control. And obviously in this exercise here, they give you all those values. They said first use this measure option. Remember, there are two options like measure and divide, right? So they said here use these measure options. So use this measure option. I'm not going to use the divide, so just click that measure. Okay, and then number of items, right? So it does have the number of items. Okay, it does have the number of items. If you're going to try to do anything with that, it won't allow you to do that because you choose the what measure options, right? So you need to specify the distance in between those two circles. And the distance, as you see in your book, it says 4. So you're going to change it to 4. And when you change it to 4, the distance, immediately you see all the circles that you had previously 11, now it's become 10. Okay, and then the gray option again, number of items is still 10. You don't have that much of control on that. All right, once you did that, then you can simply say it's done, and then you kind of want to repeat it for the right side. That means you want to go to the path options, like the path array options, you want to choose the circle, right? Press enter, and then you want to select the path, right? Okay, and this time you want to choose the divide options. Okay, actually your book it does says don't go in the divide, still deal with the measure options. I'm going to stick with that, just measure options. And then the distance, this time they're saying again it is 4, so in between those trees. So if you're gonna choose it to 4, and see number of circles that's changed now to 14. Okay, actually it get increased a little bit. The default was 11 before. Okay, so now the whole path is kind of full. Okay, so if you're done with that, then you can simply close the array option. Okay, and this is done. So that's it. At this point I'm going to walk around and I'm going to see if anyone of you need any help with anything so far what I just said. Raise your hand. I'm going to come in person and I'm going to help you. If you don't have any issue, then I'm just going to move on. This is matter of is already chosen. So now all of them to change it before. Thank you. Everything's done. Perfect. The next thing is creating seats in a theater. And you would be seeing, if you're going to open this 7.5.2, something similar to the left sketch, where you have just one chair in a theater. Obviously you need multiple chairs in a theater, and that would be 7.5.2. you just have one chairs. And now how many chairs you want in each row, how many rows that you want, all that you can control here. Obviously you're going to use the path array. Now here's the important thing. I mean, these chairs usually goes around a path, right? You need to put that path or that curved line before you even start with this problem or something similar. All right, now out of all those options here on this array, you're going to choose the path array just like before. Okay, and then it asks you to choose the choose the object. So you're going to choose that one. Okay, and then it's asking you select the path. So that path would be obviously this line that is next to that chair, and immediately so many chairs showed up. Okay, now question is how many of them that you want, right? And you'd like to do the measure options or divide options. Okay, so this is what's so important now. So obviously you'd like to fit because the room size is limited, right? Unlike the previous one where you kind of have like along the side of the outside, you have kind of a liberty of choosing the distance between those trees or circles, whatever you're going to say. For this one, since the space is limited, you might want to fix number of chairs, right? So that's the reason you'd like to change it from measure to divide. Okay, if you're going to do that, then you have this control number of items, and obviously say like you'd like to choose like 13 chairs, right? And you click somewhere. After you choose the 13 chairs, and number of chairs now become 13, and this distance between those chairs change automatically. If you try to change the distance like last problem, you won't be able to do that because now you are in these options called divide. You see where my mouse is hovering, divide. Here there's two options, divide and measure. So this time we are using the divide options. Okay, so now this number of items or chairs is 13. Now obviously we would like to create multiple rows, right? In a theater it's not like just the first row. So how many rows that you want? I mean, the default is 1. Obviously in this theater you'd like to say is you want to choose like 8 rows. That's what you're going to do. And unlike the number of items like divide and measure, here however you have the options to choose the distance between those rows, right? So once you have these 8 rows, what is happening, take a look. I mean, it's kind of filled the whole theater very nicely. But if you'd like to do a little bit of precise control, like it's just like the last row of the chair is very close to the back wall. Okay, if you'd like to give some space on the back, okay, you'd like to probably shrink the space in between those rows, okay. That's what they're saying here. So right now it is like 5 feet 9 1/6 inch, right? So like you'd like to reduce like 3 inch, right, in between rows, right? So all you gotta do, just change this to this 9 1/16. You wanna change it to 6. Okay, that's what's suggesting in the book. You see 5 feet and 6 inch, and then you press enter, or you wanna click somewhere else, and you see now some more space is on the back of this, okay, and back of this theater, and that could be important. Like, you know, there could be an exit door on the back of the theater. That could be a requirement from the code. So for whatever reasons, you may want to move those spacing, okay. So that's exactly what it is happening here, and you're gonna save it or close array, and then save it, okay, and this got saved now, okay. Any question on this one? Everybody got it? Anybody need help on that? Okay, perfect. And this would be your home, this would be your exercise, right? You see here a house, a 2D drawing, a roof here, and so many trees, okay, around the path, okay. So this could be an interesting problem for you, but this is, as I'm saying, is the exercise for you, okay. I was talking like straight half an hour. Does anybody need a break? It's already 10. Should I move on? Nobody need breaks? Everything's good? Okay, so let's start with the offset, right? Okay, so on the offset, you see, offset is very straightforward stuff. Like if you have say like a circle and you'd like to create another one with some distance, okay, then you want to use this offset option. Now when I'm saying another circle with a distance, obviously I'm referring to a inner circle or outer circle, okay. And this could be a very important thing when you are trying to draw a pipe, like where you have multiple circles, right, you know, with multiple layers of the pipe, right. So you see here on the left image, it exactly showed what I'm saying, okay. In the middle one, if you have a line and if you'd like to draw multiple parallel lines along with that, you want to use the offset options. And the final one, the right side one, if you have a say like a rectangle kind of a thing and you'd like to create something similar to that, like around the rectangle, then you want to choose the offset options, okay. So this is the quick wrap up of the offset options, and we're going to do the exercise obviously. And where it's located, if you're going to come here under this modify, this offset option is here on the last one, just under this explode option, okay. Okay, if you're going to hover the mouse on the top of it, it just gives you the offset options, where it has a simple examples as well. Just read through that if you're interested more into this. So how to deal with this offset option? Here it just talks a little bit more about the offset option. As an example, it says after starting the offset command, you'll be prompted to specify the offset distance, okay. So you'd be I mean, we have exercise where we're going to be specifying the distance in between two different circles, okay. And the first exercise would be doing it that way, and other thing that would be doing would be offsetting some parallel line with certain distance in the first exercise. I know some of you have done it already, so this is what they're saying. So offset the select object to offset, okay. So that's the next thing, which object you'd like to offset, then which side you'd like to do offset. Say like you'd like to offset a parallel line on the top of that line, so that side you're going to specify by clicking it on the top of that line, okay, or bottom of the line you're going to specify it as well, okay. More commands are there. And now once you choose a distance for offset, right, it would be usually the default, okay. And then you can obviously change it, and then if you have a different distance, and then you can, another thing that very important for offsetting layers, right, everybody is familiar with the layer, right. Remember in one exercise we did the layers, right. So you can do the layers offset as well, and which of the layer that you are choosing, you can choose it based on the current layer. So there are some more of the stuffs here regarding that. Creating multiple offset copies, so you want to choose these multiple options, right. When you are trying to specify the point on the side of the offset, Okay. Offsetting several objects, so it does have an example like how it's going to deal with several objects offsetting. I'd like to move on to the exercise. There's more of the text over there. So this is the first one that we'll be doing, and as I'm saying, like I was walking around, I see some of you are done with that already. Okay, if you're done with that, just listen to me one time, maybe something new that you can or it could be a review for you. Anyway, so we'll be doing offsetting object 1. Okay, so if you're going to open this, this is called 7.6.1. okay, 7.6.1. you'll be seeing only a rectangle. Okay, and interestingly, when you're going to click anywhere on the rectangle, you see this is not a polyline. So what if you have a polyline rectangle? You must want to explode this, right, by using the explode option in this case. Everyone understand that, right? All right, now come back to our original point. So to draw something that you are seeing it like this, right, obviously you need to find the center of those small circles. Those are in 4 corners inside this rectangle. Everybody see that? So to find the center of those 4 circles, you need to that could be one way of doing it. You need to offset all 4 lines of this rectangle. Just this one, whatever the unit here, it could be inch, right? So 1 inch or 1 feet, whatever the unit you have, that 1 unit, you need to offset all these 4 lines to 1 unit inside this rectangle. The way you can do it, very straightforward. I mean, obviously there are instructions as well here. So you want to choose this offset option first, right? And then it's asking you specify the object distance. Okay, so what is the distance that you'd like to do offset for these circles? These circles are one unit apart, right, each side. So maybe immediately you would be thinking, okay, I gotta do offset for 1 unit, right? Does it make sense? Not 0.5, 1 unit. Don't get confused with this 0.5. Okay, so you want to do 1 unit offset. So you want to choose on. I mean, I know when you are dealing with this exercise by yourself, right, some of you have done it already. Like you might have reviewed the book steps, right, and most likely you didn't think or ponder too much onto it when you are closely following the steps from the book. That could be, I mean, that could be I don't know, helpful to you. The way you are doing it, like you at least have achieved what it's asking you to do, right? You're following the steps. But at the same time, it could be like, you know, a little bit red flag, I would say, because you don't ponder on it when you are following the steps. You know what I'm saying? When you're following, you may not think that much. And when you are dealing with a sketch drawing from scratch, like from zero, then you could be in trouble. Okay, that's the thing. I started dealing with that from last week, right, before the break. Remember, I started to give you that drawing from scratch. You have to do it, and that could be a challenging thing, right? When during the project, you could be a big challenge. So that's something I'm gonna give it to you from next class as well. So just, you know, try to ponder on 2 things when you are following these steps. It's easier, important, you achieve that. At the same time, think about it, read through the book. There are more steps on it. Okay, I mean, it's not only those few steps here that I was saying. Okay, anyway, so once you choose the offset, right, I did choose the offset, and I choose this 1 distance, right? Now it's asking about specify the object distance, which is 1, right? Then it says here, okay, offset, select object to offset. Okay, I would like to offset this one. Now see, whenever I click on that top line of this rectangle, immediately another line showed up on the top of it. Now obviously I don't want another line on the top of it. I want it, so it says here, specify point on sides to offset. Obviously I would like to offset it inside. So the same thing I would like to do for the other circles as well, right? And just by simply clicking those lines on the rectangles and clicking the sides, I'm going to create this thing with no time. Okay, it's that easy. Once you are creating that, then the job would be to create these 4 circles, right? You now have the centers. So to do that, obviously you can do it several ways. One way could be you want to choose this circle with center and diameter, which could be appropriate in this case. How do I know? Because you see, all the circles, they give you the dimension as like 0.5 diameter. This is the symbol of the diameter, right? The circle with the line inside. So that's the diameter. So you want to do it this way, center and the radius, And then let's start with, here's one thing also important. You're going to go to the object snap and you're going to make sure the center option is chosen, okay? If it's not, then you won't be tracing that center, or the intersection is working as well. I think this one is intersection, not the center, okay? Make sure the intersection option is chosen, okay? Let me take it back. So once you have that thing chosen, which in this case is fine, and then it's asking you, okay, specify the radius of the circle or the diameter of the circle, right? Let's specify the diameter of the circle. So I choose the diameter, and then I gotta choose the I gotta type the value, which is 0.5. Okay, so that's it. So now I have the circle. Now, how do you want to create 3 more circles? What do you want to use? You want to repeat the same thing, circle 4 times, or
No, you can just copy it.
you can copy it. Exactly, that's what I'd like to hear. So you copy it. You already know what is copying. You choose that one, right? You press enter, and then it's asking about the base point, which would be the center, right? And then you'll just simply copy all those 4 of them to all those 4 intersections, right? And then you can escape, and that's why you have all 4 circles are done, right? So now that you have those circles done, what are you going to do? Let me go to the instruction here. So now that you have all the circles done, what are you going to do with those 4 lines? Do you need these 4 lines anymore? No, not at all. So you're going to simply just delete all of them. And deleting lines is not that difficult at all. All you're going to do is just simply choose all of them and delete them, right? Delete means in the keyboard you have to press the delete, okay? And then this part is done, okay? Up to step 18 is done, okay? And the next line, okay, in the next line you'd like to do offset again. Why? Because take a look here. You in the original drawing, it's not like you are only drawing these 4 circles. You have this other structure as well, like these 4 lines and this half, or is it a half? So it's a quarter circles, right? And quarter circles with a different diameter, right? Is there? So how going to do that? So to do that, you can simply follow the steps on the book. But you know, you do have to draw all of these lines, right? For the 4 lines around it, and the distance for those 4 lines are this time 0.5 unit, right? So you want to again choose the offset, okay, and then choose the offset, right? Then it's asking about the distance. Now you must have to change the distance from 1 to 0.5. So you want to type 0.5, press enter, okay, and then it's asking about just like before, like the object to offset. So you will gonna start to choose those objects what you'd like to offset, right? Just like before, all 4 of them, and the directions where you'd like to offset. So once you did that, you're gonna have something very similar what you're seeing in the left side of the book, right? And then what you want to do? You want to create the offset again, and you want to create the offset again. Actually, you can draw those circles different way by just simply putting these circle options again, and that could be another way. I actually did it that way, but your book just says like the offset option. Let's use the book option. So it says here, once you select the object, 0.5 offset value is written. So it's okay. So select the object to offset. Select okay, all right. So I'm going to use their steps. So what they're doing, they're offsetting circles. So I actually use different options. I create a big circle, and then I use the copy options and create all 4 of them, right? But that's probably not a standard thing to do here in this topic, because we are dealing with the offset. Again, remember at the beginning of the offset, I was saying like if you have a circle, you'd like to draw multiple circles inside of this circle or outside of the circle, offset option could be helpful. This is exactly what they did, okay? So they use this 0.5 distance for sure, right? And then they select these circles, right? Okay, and then click the outside location of the circle. That's what they're saying, where you'd like to do. So offset the specific point of the outside of the, so I'm going to create it outside, right? All right, and repeat the process for the 3 more circles. So I'm going to choose that. So this one is a little tricky. Actually didn't do it this way myself, but it'll gonna give you the same result. So here, take a look on the book image and the left side of the screen. You're seeing obviously you have this dotted line is showing here such a way, so you gotta trim those, all those dotted line. The way of doing trimming, you have learned the trimming, like several things that you can do. The easiest one could be quick trim, right? So that's the thing that you wanna do. You wanna simply start deleting stuff, right? By doing the trimming. All right, it's a long work, but you can do it. You just have to do all the trimming.
I just do the drag.
Yeah, the drag could be helpful as well. Let me, as I'm starting with this quick trim, let me stick with that.
Yeah.
All right, that is done, and then you wanna save it obviously after you're done with that. And now I'm gonna do a walk around. I'm almost done with everything pretty much. I mean, I can't possibly show you two more exercise, and then and the last one, the last one that is the whole one. I'd like you to do as an exercise as homework, right? I don't have to do it myself here, but I can do another offset, and then I can end this class here. Okay. You can do it, yeah? And do that. Okay. I will take a long time when I start from scratch now. Do you need any help? You are going to follow up when I'm reviewing stuff. That way you don't have to stop. Okay. All right, so moving on. I'd say that this is the final thing that I'll be doing here in this class, okay? And we are now officially done with this chapter anyway. So after this offset, as I said, like, you know, there's one more thing. I don't know, maybe I'd like to keep it for homework, okay? Maybe I should be ending this class here. So there'll be like 5 homework problems if I'm not mistaken. Do you want me to do that, the second one, or I think it'd be better if you're gonna do the exercise by yourself, okay? Okay, let me talk about it at least, okay? What you're gonna do? How many of you are done with this? Not this. Let me talk about this, okay? Because the steps are very straightforward. If you're gonna just follow the steps, you can finish it with no time, okay? And it's pretty long one, so let me talk about it instead of doing the whole thing. So maybe you can finish it. So okay, so this one, right? So what you're seeing here, okay, so what you're seeing here, you have these 2 image, right? And you would like to create the top image, okay? And obviously in this on the left side of the book figure, you are not seeing the isometric drawing. Everybody is familiar with what is isometric drawing, orthographic drawing. Orthographic means like in a 2D, isometric means a 3D drawing, right? So in the drawing file on AutoCAD that I opened it here, we do have this 3D drawing, right? So 3D drawing could be helpful for you to understand the 2D drawing. Now it's probably time for us to talk a little bit about this. How many of you took any other class where this drawing was taught? None? How many of you took intro? I mean, yeah, I did teach him like the intro stuff, right? How many of you took the intro of engineering? No, not that many. So in intro of engineering class, yeah, I usually teach that, like, this basic stuff of the drawing. So as an impression, you already know it. If you don't know it, it's fine. It's not a difficult thing to understand or know it. So first of all, this is a isometric drawing. It's a 3D drawing, right? And the 2D drawing is orthographic drawing, orthotropic. I forgot exactly what it says. Bottom line is a 2D drawing does have like 3 different views, right? So these 3 views are usually, those 3 views are enough to represent the whole 3D drawing. 3 views are, 2 are common, which is the top view and the front view, right? And there is this other view they call side view. Now which side you are talking? Are you talking this side? Are you talking this side? So based on that, there could be left side view, right side view, but you just need one side view. Does it make sense? Everybody understand this? Okay. Now that you understand, and it's a 3D object, so if the object orients like that, okay, what would be the top view of this object? That anybody would like to see it from the top. When anybody would like to see it from the top, what they're going to see? They're going to see a rectangle, and they're going to see one line and another line. Does it make sense? Everybody understand? So in other words, I hope they have a pen, pencil, or something here. Yeah, they have. So in other words, when you're seeing the top view, you should be seeing something like these 2 lines. So that's the top view, right? Everybody understand? So now everybody understands the top view, right? Any question? Again, what top view we are talking? If the object is oriented like that, if we are seeing it from the top, right, that's the top view. So if the same object, okay, if you'd like to see it not from the top, from the front, this is the front, right? What are you going to see? You're going to see, it's like a stairs, right? Where you have 2 steps, right? Everybody understand? So in other words, you'll be seeing something similar to that, right? Everybody got it? Okay, so that's the top and front. What about the side view? Now you may ask, which side you are talking? Are you talking about the left side or right side? Your left or my right? Like, it's different. While my left is this, your left is this, right? So it doesn't matter really. Yeah, it doesn't matter really what side you are talking. As long as you have one side view, you're good. Easiest way to deal with this side view for this object is you can't take a look on this side. You understand? If you're can't take a look on this side, you can see clearly the steps, right? So you're going to still see a rectangle with just one line in the middle. Does it make sense? Actually, 2 lines. One line here, one line here. You're going to be seeing 2 lines in the middle, right? You understand? So that's the side view. So in other words, when you're dealing with the side view, right, you'd be seeing something like that. So one line, another line. So this line kind of goes with this line, right? And this line kind of goes with this line. If you haven't done any drawing class before, does everybody understand this now? What is called top view, what is called front view, what is called side view. Now this there is another side. If you are saying like, okay, this is the right side for your case, right? This is the right side view. What would be the left side view? It will be say back. There will be a hidden line, right? Anybody heard about the hidden line before? What is the hidden line? I mean, okay, then obviously nodding yes, because he took my intro to engineering class. I did teach everything, right? So hidden line is the lines are there, but you are not just seeing it. Okay, so remember, you're seeing it from this side, like the right side, right? Now, if you're seeing from the left side, now I'm just moving it. Forget about anything. What you'll be seeing? Just a rectangle, but you are not seeing any of the steps here, right? But the steps are there. So you'd like to draw them as a dotted line. Does it make sense? That's what's called hidden line. Everyone understand? What is hidden line? Ran, you got it? Ran, you good?
The object on the other side.
Huh? What's up? Why you're seeing anything else?
Yeah, I'm
Alright, whatever you understand? Then you got it? So you have this thing, right? A rectangle. But you are basically not seeing anything from this side, but you know these lines are there. So you want to draw the two lines. This they call hidden line. Do you understand now? I'm going to draw it as well. Okay. Now, do you need all the side views, like left and right? No. You just need one of them. From that one, you can literally figure out. Okay. So you have this dot 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 line, dot 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 line. So this is the left side view, that one is the right side view, and the middle one is the, so this is the top view. Let me write that. So if you haven't done any of this thing before, I want everybody, whoever done this thing before, everybody write this thing, note. So left side view. They actually don't say left side view, right side view, they just say side view. But I'm just putting it because I have two views. This is the right side view. If you haven't done this thing before, I want you to do it like actual right at your paper. Okay? Everybody do it. That way you're not going to forget. Okay? You're not going to forget about it. If you have done it before, you have some idea. You know what I'm saying, right? Alright, why I'm saying all of these things? Basically, this is the ABCD of the drawing anytime, right? Everybody's good? Should I move on with this views thing? Alright, so this is the ABCD of the drawing now. That's the thing here in this exercise that you're going to do. Okay? Just let's focus on this. You see here, this is a 3D view, right? On the 3D view, now that you understand about the side view, right, front view, right, the top view, right? So can you kind of see like this one is the side view? Everybody agree with that? Everybody agree with this side view that they draw? So if you agree with the side view that they draw, what is this view? What is this view? Is this the front view or top view? It's the front view, right? Or the top? How many of you is for front view? Just 2 and 3, 4, 5. How many of you is for top view? Those who haven't raised their hand? No, none. All right. So can you draw? So I know you're going to draw it anyway, right? Can you draw? I mean, without seeing it, right? This is, by the way, the top view, right? Can you draw it by yourself? Like not by following the steps. I'm saying like using the offset. That is all interesting stuff, right? But by just understanding, with the understanding that you just have, right? Or whatever I was explaining. Can you draw it by yourself?
It'd be really hard.
Huh? Can you? It shouldn't be that bad, right? It's like you see.
You get the measurements.
Yeah, you need to do the measurements, but just like to draw as a sketch, you should be able to draw it, right? Because you have kind of an idea like how many lines there, right? So that is what important to understand. Like, okay, so here what we are doing here, we're using the offset option to draw the top view. Everybody got it? So as I'm saying, like I really don't like to do the exercise for you. I mean, this one is a very important one. Now that you have some ideas of all the views, like when you'd be dealing with this as a homework, you will appreciate these views that I was just saying, right? But in the meantime, maybe I can kind of review it, like what they were saying here. That could be helpful. Or I know some of you already finished it as well. Okay, so obviously you gotta use the option offset. Okay. Then you got to select these two endpoints as shown. Now, what are those two endpoints? You have one of the endpoints from the front view, right, and another endpoints from the side view. Okay, so these two endpoints, that's what they're saying. So AutoCAD has recorded the distance between these 2 points. You see, even though it was not showed in the command line. Okay, that's what it says. So select the top line of the front view. Okay, so the top line of the front view is this line. Okay, that's what they're saying. Okay, then click a point anywhere above the line. Okay, so you are started to creating the the top view, right? So that's the bottom line of the top view. So that's what they're doing. That's the first thing. The front edge of the top view has been created. That's exactly what I was saying. Front edge of the top view is created, and then press escape of the offset. Okay, now you'd like to press the escape and press enter on the keyboard to repeat the offset. So the one by one. So the way they did it, they just use these offset options to create first the baseline and then create the offset option again, right? So this time they were creating the top line. Okay, so to create the top line, what they did, they select this point 1 and 2 for the distance again, right? How far they would like to do the top line, and click a point anywhere above the first baseline that they draw. Okay, and then they have this top line. Now that they have this top line, okay, then press the escape and then kind of follow the same steps to draw the other intermediate lines, and all the instructions are here. I feel like it's kind of redundant for me to kind of explain all of this, but it's pretty straightforward. I mean, all the instructions are here. As I'm saying, you just keep adding the lines inside this circle, inside this rectangle that for the top view that you have, and you are just using these options, the distance options, right? Distance in between those 2 points. Instead of literally plugging the values of the offset, right? Remember the first exercise that we did specify, right, the distance of the offset. This time you are not doing it. You are just using this 2-point option where the distance is measured automatically. Okay, bottom line, once you're gonna follow all these steps, you're gonna come up with this final drawing. Okay, and this is so important here, just to show how the top view is related with the side view. As you can see, this dotted line here representing every corner of the side view. If I'm going to hover my mouse around, all those dotted line is representing all those corner points on the side view. Everybody understand this? Okay, so after that, you basically have to deal with this challenge exercise. So I'm going to put it as in homework as well. So many problems you'll be seeing in homework, by the way, and this would be due next week Monday. Okay, so you'll have plenty of time. Okay, and sometimes today I'm gonna upload this homework. Okay, and then this final one is very straightforward. It's like using the grips option. Okay, just to give you overview, I mean, there's the exercise here. You're gonna do it as well. I'd like to talk a little bit about it. So the grip option is very important. It's like, you see, if you're gonna create a circle or a line or a rectangle, okay, so for circle, like, you know, if you're gonna create, right, and you choose that circle, immediately those 5 points are gonna show up. Right, so once those 5 points are going to show up, if by using these grip options, you can literally change the size of the circle, right, the location of the circle, depending on what point that you are choosing. For example, say like if you want to move the circle by using the grip option, you can choose the center of the circle, right? If you want to distort the shape of the circle using the grip option on the periphery or the arc on the circle, you can do that as well. Okay, the same thing is true for the rectangle. So they're like for rectangle, right? You have these 4 sides of this, right? Say like you'd like to move the middle of the vertical line on the right side to some distance. You want to use the grip option that way, right? So again, the instructions for the exercise for this grip option is in the book. Clearly, I'm going to show it to you shortly. But you want to do that in homework. Okay? So I feel like maybe it should be better if you're going to do it in the homework. But this is the intro that I'd like to put for the grip. Any question with the grip? Everyone's good with the grip option? Erin, you are good? Perfect. So, and some of the things highlight I'd like to show it to you. You see, if you have a rectangle, right, you'd like to extend one corner, you just choose that grip options and then you can do it as well. In next class, I can show it to you quickly again, okay, if you want me to do, right? Or maybe I can show it to you right away. Do you see? I'm using the grip option now. Okay, let me show it to you again. So when I create a circle, right? that circle does have 5 points when I select that circle after creating the circle. So now I have to this using the grip option. That's what I was saying. By the way, the grip option is not showed up anywhere here, okay? But you can right click on the grip option, and when you're doing the grip, right? So that's on the side. If you'd like to change by gripping one of the side, change the circle diameter, you can do it this way. Okay, if you wanna move the circle by clicking on the center, you see the circle is gonna move. Everybody see that? Anywhere that you can move? That's called grip option. What I'm doing now, right? It was good about the grip option. Okay, you don't find that options. Just draw a circle first. Okay, so like this is a circle. Did you draw it? Okay, so then choose the circle. Choose the circle and select the circle somewhere. Are you seeing these 5 points? Okay, then just click anywhere of one of these points, like out of these 5 points. So I just click the right side of the points, and then you see. So that's what called grip options. Okay, and for the center, you see I can move it. So that's what called grip options. All right, and then for the rectangle, let me see if I can do that. Okay, so okay, if I'm going to click the rectangle, the same thing just showed up, right? So you see, this is exactly what they're showing, right? I can literally change anything that I want. You see, this is called grip options. Okay, it's very straightforward. It does look a little scary if we're going to read through that, and then but it's very straightforward stuff. The thing that I just showed it to you, okay? And all the details, I want you to please read through that, and then you can do additional commands available through grips by doing the right click. Like you can literally do this move, rotate, scale, mirror, all those things by doing the grip options, right? That's kind of a shortcut, okay? Maybe when you are expert on the drawing, maybe you would be using this grip option more rather than doing the other options, right? But the thing, or the last thing that I'd like to do highlighting here, so this is the exercise that you're going to do, is 7.7.1, okay? So I'm going to put it in the homework, and all the instructions are here, okay? And this is rather long exercise, right? But easier one, okay? And as you can see here, they just have one exercise for the grip option. That's why I want to put it as a homework, right? If I'm going to just finish it, I doubt that everybody will going to have the opportunity to learn the grip options. So that's why I have to do it this way, okay? Everybody understand? It's just one homework exercise here. And if you have any question with the grip options and everything, you are struggling, and all the steps are here anyway. If you have any questions or struggling with anything, just let me know in next class, because the homework is not due until Monday. Okay, so you do have time. And if you don't have any other questions, and I felt like I wanted to finish the class way early, but today we lost quite a bit of time because of the technical glitch. But that's it from me today. Anybody else have any question? No? Okay, don't miss the class. As you can see, even if you probably get it by yourself, but when you come to the class, following the steps doesn't literally give you the full understanding of the book. Maybe you are not reading the whole thing. I try to present the whole thing as much as I can. So maybe something that you're missing, or at least if you know everything, it could be a review for you. Okay, so that's why I'm saying, like, don't miss the class, come on time on the class. That could be helpful to you. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna stop the recording now, and I'll